If you do look at a short-term chart, XRP is showing you a negative divergence. Yes, that's on a 4-hour chart, agreed. Now slowly step back. Go to a 12-hour chart. Do you notice the fact that the price is going up, making higher highs, whereas the RSI is not? That means what you just saw on a 4-hour is also valid on a 12-hour chart. Now step back on a daily chart. What do you notice? Now, yes, it's not confirmed. Now, yes, you need another 22 hours for the daily candle close to give you a confirmation. But on a weekly, you already have one. On a daily, you're trying to make one. On all the lower time frames, you already have it. So what do you make of it? You will have to go on a line chart. You will have to draw a trend line on a line chart connecting all the tops and make sure you understand what the market is trying to say. The negative divergence which we created is still valid. We have not yet invalidated that yet. And if you're on a short-term horizon, this is what you're watching. Yeah, the RSI is slowly trying to peak up. If you plot that correctly, make it look decent, it would look like this, which means on a lower time frame, it's suggesting it's just a retest. I'm going to go back down, retest this, and maybe I'm going to grind back up. So that's what the 3-day chart is saying. But we all understand one thing. It's the higher time frame chart what matters. This is the primary reason why I started with this. Now, on a monthly chart, which is superseding the weekly, is showing you I'm trying to re-enter into the overbought territory, and whenever I do that, I kind of get a blow off. Yeah, so that possibility is there on a monthly. But for that to happen, the weekly should get invalidated. But as you just know, weekly is not the higher time frame, it's the monthly. But on a lower time frame, which is arguing I'm going up, it says I broke higher, but I need a retest and a bounce. Because when you do that retest, if you fail to bounce back, it's disastrous. You know that. Now, with that being said, that's XRP. Now, let's actually reanalyze a lot of different assets in this market in different segments and see whether they all fall into the same category or they show you something positive. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys get to learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. While you look at the crypto market and see, okay, some of these coins have been going up 50, 60, 70, 80, 100% in a week, that looks good, isn't it? Now, some of these, we had our calls, we had our buys just a week back, 10 days back, a month back, and we are good to see that they're starting to do something, yeah? And one of the primary reasons why you have to look at the market is, say, Ether as a large cap asset is doing a 45% plus rally in just a week. That shows you something. Now, go on to the next 100. You're not playing with the large caps now. You're looking more at the medium cap, the mid caps. And you're watching, okay, they're also up 50% plus. And that's not one or two assets. That's a lot of them. So this kind of gives you an easy idea, an easy narrative to look in the market saying, okay, I see that the lower I'm going in the market cap, the higher the upside average is. So first it was 50, then it turned out to be 60, 70. Now next one is like 100% on average, right? So that kind of gives you an idea that there is a lot of assets going up. Why does that matter? Because on the other end, you see this. There is a couple of them which is doing very bad, but average is still good. The market as a whole is not dropping. You only have to know why some of these assets are dropping like crazy while others are going up. Say we pick up this one, DEX. if you go back to the charts I've posted for that asset a month back, 2 months back, most of you already know why that's happening. Put that on a weekly chart and the answer is there for you, right? That long wick which came up, that 30% to the upside, that kind of confirmed something. What is that? If you put the RSI in and plot what the strength did at the same time while the price was going up, that's a negative divergence. And now you literally understand what that matters. But yeah, the big drop to the downside did not happen yet. When will that happen? So you go back in the price action, you want to watch this. When you did the consolidation and dropped for the capitulation, where was your RSI? How do you know that? You need to be precise on this. You plot that vertical line there, you zoom in. Okay, where was my RSI at that point? Good? That's 35. On a weekly, when you drop below 35, done. Now, where are you? You have not yet reached that territory. So you may consolidate here for a few days. That's still a possibility before you see some heavy capitulation. And now you plot a trend line. What does that look like? Oh, that's a rising trend line. Yeah, but that's a rising wedge as well. And you know how the rising wedges end. We've seen that. Just now we looked at the Bitcoin dominance with the rising wedge, which then broke to the downside. Great. So yeah, you can play this thing here and then break lower. So watch the assets which you're trying to ride. If it's something like this, scary. Now, let's pick another segment. Again, we're going back to a higher time frame structure here so that you guys know what you are looking at. This is Doge on a weekly, price going up, trending higher, RSI came lower, hidden bullish divergence. MACD trying to show I'm about to cross to the upside, and last couple of times, whenever you cross to the upside in MACD terms, the price corrected. How much? 27%. Now let's be precise. Let's plot it to the roof here. Then find the bottom, which is good. Okay, 23%, not 27, 23% to the downside. So if you're in with a high-end leverage, you should be scared. Now, if you're in on a spot bag or a 1 or 2x, now it's not going to hurt you. Yeah, this is what you have to keep in mind. The market is going to do this retest and then go back higher. So that's Doge. Now, let's jump on to Ether, which is like the smart contracts, right? Now, on the smart contract side of the equation, right now in a large cap asset like Ether, this is the pattern. We've been following that pattern. We called out the bottom. We were talking about it, averaging down. And now the price reached the first target, which I gave you guys, yeah? 2,700. We already hit that level today. Perfect. Now, what? When we are hitting that level, we wanted to watch this. Are we hitting this as a resistance? If we are hitting that level as a resistance, that's scary. But right now, you still have some room to the upside, and then the MACD is arguing something. Now, this is clear that not all assets do the exact same thing. So we are trying to put that vertical line in here for the MACD. Now, what does that show you? The correction which happened in Ether with RSI, with price, happened just before the MACD cross. Okay, good. But right now, the MACD already crossed to the upside and you didn't get that correction. Now, you can argue this micro one is one of that correction, but as of now, you didn't see that. So you go back. You go back in time, find another MACD cross to the upside, you plot it there. Now, what do you see? You got a little bit of correction before that, but while it happened, you really did. After that, you got a little bit, 10%. So in Ether terms, even if you're dropping, it's more or less like a 10-15% drop. It's not like 20, 25, 30% drop. That's a good thing in a large cap asset like Ether. When you involve more risk in a meme segment, you see more. Fine. Now let's pick up XLM. We saw a bullish divergence. We saw a breakout. It's all looking good. It's all looking great. Now what? The retest is still pending. And for this to happen, to go to the upside, what needs to be valid? A retest and a bounce. So this is your trend line. You can come back down all the way, test this, and then you need to bounce. If you break this, retest and get rejected, it's a bad story. You can come back down to the trend line in here, which is a new low. Fine. So you go back. You go back on a higher time frame structure on the same asset. 3-day, you have a bullish divergence. Great. It's perfect. Fine. Now let's ride on to a weekly chart. Take a higher time frame approach. You don't have a negative divergence, which is good. And neither do you have a bullish divergence. So whatever existed in the market before is valid. Now what existed in the market? The price was going down, RSI was going up. So you had a bullish divergence before, and that's valid even now. So the way you look at the market on a payments, on a meme coin, on a smart contracts, it's clear for you. Now remember, when Solana was showing you that I'm about to bounce back up, I put my argument saying, guys, we may actually come back up to 190, 200 region. Now, why is that? When you do plot a trend line in here, you see this. Okay, this is where the price decided that I'm going to break to the downside. And that is scary for some of these assets. You need to be honest with yourself, because that's a weekly chart showing you I'm coming back up to a retest, and the RSI is saying I have some more room for sure, but I'm still below the negative divergence extension. Historically, that's where the actual bear market starts, right? So let's see what the MACD argues. The MACD is arguing I'm crossing to the upside. And as soon as that crossed to the upside, here also you get to see a drop in the price. Not a huge one, but still a decent one. 10-15% drop. Now, if you get that 10-15% drop in here, that's just 150. It's not scary. But look at the RSI. If you do that drop, now the room to reach and test and break that extension is more, which says more or less it's likely that you'll retest that and get rejected. So keep in mind, when you come back up and retest, it's around 213 where your resistance would be. If you don't break that, you can get rejected, and that rejection usually ends pretty bad. Fine. Now, you put it on a monthly so that you know what you are looking at. You had a momentum reversal. Yeah. You had a retest and a momentum reversal. Now you're retesting that reversal. You can still go back down, do bad things. Now, put a monthly for Ether. Yeah, this is what you're looking at on a monthly for Ether. You'll focus completely on the price action. Watch. What's different for Ether than that asset in Solana? Yeah, one candle to the upside is raising what? Last 2.5 candles, and it's not over yet. You still have another 15 days for this month. So what if you reach back up to this point? I mean, that's super bullish. Now, I'm a Ether guy. I'm not. But am I in Ether? Yes, for sure. My average is very good, decent, compared to what the price is now. Not the absolute bottom for sure, but we've been dollar cost averaging based on the bullish divergence. So now you go on to a different one. Say we'll pick PopCat. It fits into the small cap and mem. Watch the price action is doing something. What is it? The 1, the 2, the 3. Good. On a micro leg, you just completed that. Now, does the price increase in the daily chart match with its RSI? It really don't. If you plot a horizontal line just about this RSI, it's starting to show you negative divergence on a daily. But yeah, on a daily. So I'm like, okay, fine. Let's take a decision. We bought it back somewhere here. We're still up around 30%, which still is a decent ROI. So you need to take decisions based on the factors which you can see. If you're a wave guy, you got the 1, the 2, the 3. Now, most likely it's an ABC. ABC, yeah? In lower cap assets, the ABC tends to be big. 1. 2, the decision has to be made also on a higher time frame chart. Now I'm like, okay, the higher time frame is looking like this. What would you decide? I mean, my decision and what I'm doing is already valid and visible in the group, in the Patreon. But what my question is, when you are at that level of a resistance, which has been valid all the way from 2024 Feb, so that's like 1 year plus, what would you decide? Yeah? You need to know the importance of macro region and macro price action. That is pretty much important. Now, at this point, you will have to go asking yourself the question, okay, what does the Bitcoin dominance show me on? It's going to the downside, breaking lower. That's good, perfect. You go on a 3-day, it's looking good. It broke that. On a daily, the breakout is evident. But after a breakout, what happens? Retest, yeah? So I want to see this retest and a rejection. Boom, that rejection should be perfect time to be in the alt market. Wherever that takes the alt market to, take the profits. Don't be greedy. Don't just stay aside. Now, if you want more assets and its breakdown, be a part of this family. Get each and everything in here. There's a lot of assets for sure. This is the crypto market, 70,000 plus coins. But if you do have 5, 10, 15 good ones in your portfolio, in the SI family, you will get all of them. Even if you have 50 coins, that does not matter. Because we've been covering almost all the assets and we're still doing that. So if you have few of these assets, you can purchase just one chart if you wish to and see the accuracy in 2 months, in 3 months. But what if that's the top? And what if we reverse very quickly? So being a part of this with 1,700 plus members matters a lot more for the next 90 days than anything else. This is the best educated crypto family. So if you haven't smashed the like button yet and you think there is some value in the information which you just received, pop that for me. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.